Okay, I just want to show you Chris's joke. So 27 is our number for I love you. And I was looking up ruby necklaces. So I click on visit because I want to see this one because it looks pretty cool, right? So I click it and it takes me to this pendant, which is not the one that I want to see. So, oops. I go back and I do this like 3 more times. I hit visit and it goes back to this pendant. Do it again. There it goes. And on the 3rd time, I saw the price has a 27 in it. And I had just been complaining to Chris about some stuff. And then I apologized after I calmed down a little bit. So I guess this was, he wanted to make sure I saw it. Because he's like, look, I glitched your phone. The least you could do is acknowledge it. And I just like kept clicking it over and over again. And I've done that before when he has glitched my phone to make it take me to the wrong item. I'm sure I posted about that because it was a funny one. I think it was a rude joke on that one, which made it extra funny. But yeah, this is an instance of ITC, or instrumental transcommunication, which is when someone in the non-physical controls or affects some kind of electronic device. And I know you've all heard about stuff like that happening. But what happens to me, not a whole lot happens. We've had a few appliances go bonkers, but it's not like my lights flicker a lot. And partially because he said he didn't want me to think that we had an electrical problem here. But I have had 2 phones die in a year. And other stuff like that. But what he seems to like to do is to just glitch my phone so that it goes to the wrong place. He did that a couple of years ago when I had just bilocated to his side of the veil, and I had seen the healing center and like the reception center where they take people when they first arrive. And all of these rooms where they take you, it's like everybody gets a private room, and there are like triage rooms, so people can acclimate when they get to the other side. And the rooms were color coded, meaning each room was a different color, and everything in the room was that color. So it was monochromatic. And I had seen something like that a couple years prior, where I was doing a shamanic journey and I saw these healing rooms. And I was wanting to make them where it would be like the yellow room was for the solar plexus, and everything in there would be geared towards healing the solar plexus, the colors, but also the scents for aromatherapy, and the sounds and the tones, and the plants and herbs and the tea. We'd have tea. So it was just a thing that I saw. And then when I bilocated to, the 5th dimension, it'd be the upper astral where we go as soon as we transition. I saw these rooms again. The point being, he glitched my phone the day I saw them on the other side. I got home, I became back in my own awareness, physical body after bilocating. And I was going to go look up a group on Facebook that was a crystal group. It was somebody my friend knew. She gave me the name of the crystal group. And I typed it in Facebook, but it wouldn't pull up the group. It pulled up a post that I had made 2 years prior about the session where I saw the color-coded healing rooms in a shamanic journey. So on the very day that I bilocated across the veil and saw these color-coded triage rooms, he glitched my phone while I'm trying to look for a group on Facebook that's unrelated to any of this. It has no keywords in common with any of this, and it brings up a post of mine from 2 years prior. I don't even know how to do that on my phone. If you asked me to go find something on my own Facebook page from 2 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do it. But 3 times, I typed in the name of this crystal group and pulled up my own post describing these color-coded rooms. And that would be an example of ITC, instrumental transcommunication. But it's also an insane synchronicity, which is not a coincidence, because I saw the same thing on this day and 2 years prior, and somehow the journal entry of it comes into my awareness. That is some really good after death communication right there. On his end, he did a really great job glitching my phone to bring me to that post, because it confirmed the bilocation I had earlier that day where I saw the healing rooms. It confirmed that that was real. That's a great way that you get confirmation. If you're having after death communication or an interdimensional relationship or friendship of any kind, one great way to validate your experiences is to look for the synchronistic evidence that it has been validated. And in my case, the fact that my phone glitched and brought me to a 2-year-old journal entry when I wasn't looking for it, and I didn't know it was 2 years ago. If you would have asked me when did that happen, I would have no clue. So, it involves bilocation and synchronicity and ITC and shamanic journeys. What doesn't it involve, And it was just I didn't know that it was going to be that kind of day. But it was the evidence that I needed to solidify the fact that I already knew that I had bilocated. But he likes to make sure that I don't doubt myself too much, because self-doubt will ruin this journey. If you really don't believe it's happening, it's just not going to happen. You get what you believe. And so because Chris knows that, he does extra layers of things for me to make sure I have all the proof I need. If something happens with us, like I bilocate or I hear him say something to me, and I just want to make sure that I heard it right, I'll get another layer of proof through some kind of synchronistic event that he has planned. But if I'm not paying attention, I'm not going to receive that message. So tonight, he had to glitch my phone, several times before I noticed that there was a 27 in the number of the price of this thing. And I kept thinking, what? I was like, I must have, pushed the wrong button. I figured it was me. But when it kept happening, I was like, oh, come on now. And so that's how long it took me to notice the 27. Which means he must have really wanted me to hear that right now. And I think that's true, because I really could use it. He just gave me a gift. Another physical gift, which is a different story. But I think that was related to that. Okay, thanks for listening. We'll be making more videos about these little stories more often, because I realize there's a lot of people who haven't heard these little daily stories that happen. These kind of things happen to us all the time. And they're funny. So if you haven't ever, if you haven't ever kept up with our blog or our, group, it'll be easier to just watch these stories on YouTube. All right. Thanks for watching.